do a lot of forward hunching, so this posture, if you can just remember to do it a few times a day, it kind of helps counter a lot of that forward hunching that we naturally do over our phones, our computers, driving, just kind of not right posture. From here, we're going to take those hands that are behind your back. You're going to bring the fist over to your right side. And then we're going to drop our right ear down to our right shoulder. And you're just kind of stretching up the left side of your neck a little bit more, drawing that left shoulder down and back. Starting to lengthen your breath. And then you can bring your chin down towards your chest. And then you can bring your fist over to the other side, bringing the other ear down towards the other shoulder. And then you can bring your hands down, just release your hands and roll your head and neck out. Maybe once or twice, whatever feels good. And then you can just come to sitting up nice and tall. Maybe closing your eyes or just softening your gaze, looking out at the water. And using this time to really just kind of disconnect from the outside world and start to focus on really being present, just being here now. Taking a moment to really just feel what it's like to be outdoors right now, the feeling of the wind, maybe any of the sounds from the marina, the water, the city, the sky. And embracing all of this as part of our practice and our experience this evening. Taking a moment to set an intention for class before we start, or just reminding yourself of something positive, something you're grateful for. And then you can slowly open up your eyes. We're just going to add some movement to our breath. So on your inhale, reach your arms out nice and long, starting to reach them up tall, looking up to the sky and the clouds, and then exhale to reach our arms out and back down. Taking your time. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach out and up. Find length. Noticing the sky. Exhale to come back down. This time we'll just hold our arms up at the top. And we're going to add our twist. We're going to twist to your right. So take your left hand to the outside of the right knee, looking over the right shoulder. Few breaths here. And then inhale to reach out and up again. Exhale, we're going to twist in the opposite direction. Looking over the other shoulder. So a little neck stretch as you're looking behind you. And then inhale to reach out and back up again. We're going to interlace our hands to the top. At the top, bringing our palms up to the sky, drawing your shoulders down and back as you reach up nice and tall. Good. And then we're going to open up to cactus arms here. So just squeezing the shoulders together in the back, opening up your chest, looking forward, or even looking up again. And then you can release. All right. From here, we're going to come to our first Yin Yoga pose. It's going to be yogi toe stretch. So if you have a towel or a blanket, you can just use it as extra padding for your knees, and we're going to come onto our knees. You might not need the blanket as extra padding, but it's just there because in case we're going to be on our knees for a little while. And I forgot to bring my watch, so I am just going to be using my phone, kind of a stopwatch, because we'll be holding the poses for a little bit of length of time. All right. So you want to start out kind of bending the toes and then spreading the toes apart. That's what we're stretching. So you can even use your hands to just kind of physically spread those toes apart. And then you can kind of control the stretch, how deep you go, by kind of coming forward, taking a little pressure off your toes, or sitting back if it feels okay, putting the pressure on your toes. Right? And if it becomes too much at any point, you can always come out of it and just take a little break and then come back in. All right, so from here, we're going to inhale, open up our chest. We're going to kind of do like a cat-cow stretch from here. And then exhale, you're going to round your shoulders. We'll do that again. Inhale, open up, lift your chest forward. Exhale to round. Good. And you know, if any pose doesn't feel good or doesn't work for you, that's okay. Just do what you can. Here for about a minute. All right, from here we're going to come to eagle arms pose. So you can give yourself a big hug, crossing above the ankle, above the elbows, and then bring your arms together. Good. Maybe lift the shoulders up a little bit, so you're squeezing the shoulder blades together at the front. Staying here for a few breaths. And then remember which arm's on the bottom, which arm's on the top, because we're going to switch. So inhale, open up. Exhale, opposite arm on top, opposite arm on the bottom. Coming back to eagle arms. Squeezing the shoulders together in the front, maybe lifting the elbows up a little. Good job. 2 more deep breaths. Inhale, open up. And we're going to release. We're just going to come forward and pattern the tops of your toes down. That was about 2 minutes. All right, so our counter stretch is going to be your ankle stretch. You're going to let the feet kind of lie flat down, the tops of the feet lie down, and we're going to lean back. So it's a counter stretch for the toes, but it's also stretching the tops of our ankles. And again, you can kind of control it, how deep you go, by, you know, if you come forward, or you can lift the knees up a little bit more. We're holding this one about a minute. About 2 or 3 more deep breaths. All right, and go ahead and come forward, make your way out of it. All right, we'll just do a few rounds of cat-cow pose from here, just kind of stretching out your spine. So just hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and then on your inhale, you can drop the belly, lift your tailbone, look up, and then exhale to round your back. We'll do this about 2 or 3 more times. One more round of cat-cow. All right, from here, we're just going to come into a child's pose. Only be here about 5 breaths, so we're not holding this one super long. But take your knees out wide, sit back towards your heels, and then stretch your arms out nice and long. Bring your forehead down to the back. And then from here, you can walk your hands back. And we're going to set up for our next Yin Yoga pose. So you want to kind of check your setup while we're here. So the front knees over top of the ankle, and then lift that back knee up and see if you can go back a little further so that you have a nice distance between your front heel and the back knee. Right? So the target of this pose is our legs, our hip, inner legs, and inner legs here. So it's your choice, kind of. The target's the lower body. So with the upper body, you can either keep the hands here, or you can come onto your hips, or you can come up here, kind of resting your hands on the knee, letting your back straight. So it's kind of your choice, whatever feels better in the pose. And you can even stay in one place that part of the time, and then another place other part of the time. We'll be adding on little variations, but in Yin Yoga, the idea is to hold the poses longer so that we can get a nice deep stretch. So we want to get into the deep tissues, beyond the muscle tissues, so the tissues and the ligaments, the joints, the bone. So just settling in, coming back to your breath, kind of noticing where you feel that stretch and trying to relax that area. Try not to tense it up. Coming back into your breath, just like we did at the beginning of class. From here, we're going to take our time to come to the half splits variation. So you're going to walk your hands back, work towards straightening that front leg. So that front knee doesn't need to be straight. You can have a back in it, but if you're able to kind of straighten it, you can straighten it to get deeper hamstring stretch. Folding forward towards that front knee, and think to square the hips. So kind of send that right hip back, left hip forward. And we're going to be here for about 1 more minute, but half splits pose is kind of a prep for a full splits pose. So if anybody here happens to be more flexible and you want to try working your way forward towards closer to a full splits, you can, but you certainly don't have to. Or, sometimes for some people it feels better to sit back towards your heels. That's an option too. But if you want, you can just stay here in this half splits. It's just an option. About 2 more deep breaths here. And then slowly make your way forward. And then make your way out of the pose. Coming back onto your hands and knees. We'll stretch that leg out long and that. If you want, doing a few hip circles. Stretching it back and forth. And then before we do the other side, we're going to come back to a child's pose. So between each of the poses, we kind of take a little a resting pose or a counter stretch to allow the tissues that we held for a long period of time to release and relax a little. Right after the stretch, you might feel a little bit of stiffness or kind of soreness, and that's normal. that usually will go away pretty quickly. And then when you're ready, you can make your way back onto your hands and knees, and we'll set up for the other side, taking your opposite foot forward, and then take a moment to set up. So checking that front knees over top of the ankle, and then lifting that back knee up, seeing if you can go back a little bit further so that you have a nice distance between your front heel and the back knee. And then settling into the pose here, and just know you have the options. If there's a lot of pressure on your fingers to come onto the fist, or just stay up here and allow your back to straighten in the pose because the focus is more on the legs. And then just using this time to come back to your breath and using it as a more kind of meditative time to just enjoy the experience of being out here. Maybe just finding and embracing the stillness. And then take your time to transition into the next pose, walking your hands back, working towards straightening that front knee. Even if it's not all the way straight, that's fine. Holding forward towards that front knee. Yeah, and if it feels better to sit back towards the heels, that's fine too. That's a good option. I'm feeling that stretch more in the hamstring muscle, back of the leg. And then we have about 1 more minute in the pose. So if you want to either sit back towards the heel or work more towards that full splits, you can, or you can just stay right where you're at. You're feeling a good stretch there. About 1 or 2 more deep breaths. And then you can slowly make your way out of the pose, just taking your time, however you want to come out. Stretching that leg out in the back. Maybe just reaching it out long, or doing a few circles. back into a child's pose. And then you can make your way back onto your hands and knees, and we're going to come to a seat. All right, so for the next pose, you have two options. So if you want to try the first option, and if that one doesn't work, you can try the second option. All right, so it's called half saddle pose, and I'll show you what it looks like, or you can try it. So we'll start with our left leg forward, and you're going to bend the right knee back. So this is stretching out the quad and the knee. But for this pose, we're going to make our way back. So you might just stay here in the pose, or you might be able to come onto your forearms, but it can be a little bit hard to kind of on your neck to stay here for too long, so you can always make your way up again. Or if it feels okay, the full pose is to come all the way down, reaching your hands behind your back. But I know that's not possible for a lot of people. If this doesn't feel good, you can always just come to this stretch as well. So other option, stay here coming forward instead of back, or just do a stretch from here. If it doesn't feel good for your knee for any reason to bend it that way, or if that pose just doesn't feel good for you. All right. So making your decision, maybe trying it. You might not know which one you want to do yet. We'll be here about 3 more deep breaths. And then just moving nice and slow to make your way out of it. You can just take both legs in front of you, and just shake them out. Don't windshield wiper, knees side to side, so take your legs out wide, dropping both knees to one side. then before we do the other side, we'll just come up all the way to seated and just interlace the hands behind the back, drawing the shoulders down and back. Staying here again for a few deep breaths. And then you can release your hands and we'll set up for the other side. And it's okay, we're not all doing the same stretch. You know, everybody's different and has had different life experiences and different bodies, so not everything works for everyone, and that's okay, because yoga is about doing what feels good for your body. So taking your time to set up on the side, maybe noticing how this side is different, and then either maybe you go forward, maybe you go back, or maybe you just say, okay, you know, that was enough, I'm going to do this one. Because I like you doing better, that's fine too. Yeah, just try to notice in whatever stretch you're in or variation you're in, where you're feeling it. So if you have the knee bent behind you, it'll be stretching more of your quad and your knee. If you're folding forward, it'll also be getting more into your hamstring, but not as deep into your quad. Or if you have the leg just in front of you, you'll be stretching more of the hamstring on the other side. And also the knees as well. If you aren't able to come all the way up to your back, it also is a little bit of a back bend or back stretch as well. And we'll be here about 2 or 3 more breaths. And kind of slowly make your way all the way up to a seat. Straighten out both legs and just kind of shake them out a little bit. We'll windshield wiper our knees side to side a few times again. And then we're going to come to a reverse plank. Keeping your hands behind you, heels in towards you, lift the hips up into a tabletop. Let your head drop back. Just staying here for a few breaths. Good, and then you can lower back down. All right, so our next pose is going to be Sphinx pose on our stomach. So you can come onto your stomach. So this is going to stretch our lower back. So to set up, you want to make sure that elbows are under the shoulders or even just slightly in front of the shoulders. You want to relax your feet in the back, relax your lower back. The only thing you kind of do need to kind of make sure is not relaxed. You want to keep your shoulders away from your ears, so drawing the shoulders apart so they're not stretching out. Just coming back to your breath here. And if you want kind of a little bit to be more gentle on your lower back, you can always bring your head down or even lower it down more if you need to at any point during the pose. Or to get just a little bit deeper into the lower back, you'd lift your head forward and even up just a little bit. Make sure before it gets too dark. Actually, good, everybody. Almost everyone. Dark out here. We'll be here for about 1 more minute. So you can either stay here if this feels okay, or if you want to go deeper, you can take your hands out wider, straighten your arms, coming more into a seal pose. Even if you only do that for a few breaths and then come back down to regular swings, that's fine. Or even if you're down, that's fine. About 3 more deep breaths. And then you can make your way all the way down onto your stomach. So our counter pose is going to be lying on our belly. You can take your hands behind you to release your shoulders and bring one side of your head down. Staying here for a few breaths. And then if you want, lifting your head up and bringing the other side of your head down. And then you can lift your head up and make your way back up onto your hands and knees. Maybe grab a drink of water if you brought water. And our next pose is going to be for our hips. We're going to do pigeon pose. Or you could do like a lying down figure 4 stretch. It's an alternative stretch for your hips. So you can use your blanket. It's just an option. It's kind of like you can roll it up a little bit, and we can use it as like extra padding for under our hips if we have a kind of a big gap between the hips and the back of the neck. All right, so the option will be if you get into the pigeon pose, and if you don't like it, it feels too intense, the other option, the alternative, is to do a lying down figure four, which will be stretching the same area. All right, if you're doing the pigeon pose, we'll start on our hands and knees, and we can actually start in a downward facing dog to just kind of stretch it out a little bit too. And just stretch out our whole body in the downward facing dog. And then you can lift your right leg up, three-legged down dog, and we're going to bring our right knee behind our right wrist, our right foot over to the left side. Set up for our pigeon, take our back knee back, and this is where we have the option to use our blanket. If you want to just place it under your head, like, so it can relax a little bit if you have a big gap between your hips and that. From here, we'll just come to an upright pigeon to start with. So you'll just inhale, lengthen through your spine, drag your shoulders back. Good. And then we're going to make our way down to a resting pigeon. You can start out maybe coming on the forearms, resting there. And either staying on the forearms, or you can bring your forehead down, maybe reaching your arms out long. Settling in here. Or like I said, you can always come to that lying down figure four stretch as well. Alternate. Take a moment in this pose and just try to notice if you're tensing up anywhere and you want to allow your body to consciously release and relax. Especially the muscles around the face. Make sure you soften the face. Tell yourself to just release and let go into the stretch. Take about 2 more deep breaths here. And then you can take your time to start to walk your hands back, coming into an upright pigeon. We'll pause here in this upright pigeon for a few breaths too. And then take your time to make your way out. So maybe coming back into into a downward facing dog to stretch it out, or just hands and knees, stretching that leg out long. Just kind of finding something that feels good, good counter stretch. And we'll come into a child's pose before we do the other side. Coming back down to a child's pose for a few breaths. And then you can make your way back onto your hands and knees, maybe back into downward facing dog to set up for pigeon pose on the other side. Coming into a three-legged down dog. And then when you're ready, bringing the left knee behind the left wrist, left foot over to the right side, back knee back. Pausing in an upright pigeon for a breath or two. Maybe placing the blanket under your hip. Allow it to relax a little more in the pose. And then whenever you're ready, making your way down to the resting pigeon. Maybe pausing on your forearms for a few breaths. But then whenever you're ready, you can reach, if you want, you can reach your arms out long, maybe resting your forehead down. And just notice if you're tensing up anywhere on this side again. Relaxing your jaw, softening your face. Allowing yourself to just let go and release into the pose. About two more deep breaths. Then when you're ready, start to walk your hands back. Take your time to make your way up, and we'll come to an upright pigeon for a few breaths before making our way out. And you can make your way out of the pose, taking your time, coming either together, just back to your hands and knees, stretching the leg out long, or you can come into a downward facing dog. And then you can come back onto your hands and knees. We'll come to a seat, maybe grabbing a drink of water, and we're going to finish on our back. Whenever you're ready, just making your way onto your back. Hug your knees in towards your chest to start with. Maybe just rock side to side or in a little circle. And then from here, we're going to cross the right knee over top of the left knee, like you're sitting cross-legged, but you're lying down. And you're going to reach for whatever foot is closest to you. So it's actually the opposite foot on each side. So whatever foot's closest to you, or the ankle. Just bring the feet out to the side, maybe rocking side to side again. So this is stretching out our hips a little bit more. Working towards stacking the knees, maybe. And then you can release your feet. We're going to move our body a little bit more to the right side of the mat because we're going to come to a twist and we're going to drop both knees over to the left side of the mat. So you can drop both knees over, keeping the legs crossed. Unless, of course, that's like real uncomfortable, then just uncross your legs and you can just stack the knees on top of each other. Your left hand can just relax on your knees or on your leg. Your right arm, maybe just bend at the elbow up overhead. The twist being good for our back and our spine. Also kind of with our legs crossed, getting a little bit of a hip stretch as well. One more deep breath here. And then make your way back through to the center. Uncross your legs. And we're just going to stretch out long. So reach your arms overhead. Straighten your legs. Take a nice long stretch from your fingertips all the way down through to your toes. And then we'll set up for the other side. So bending your knees, crossing your left knee on top of the right knee. Bring both knees up towards you, reaching for the foot that's closest to you on either side, the foot or the ankle. Stacking the knees, maybe rocking side to side. From here, you can keep your knees crossed, move your body just a little bit to the left side of the mat, and we're going to drop our knees up and over to the right side. Either keeping them crossed if that feels okay, or you can uncross them if it doesn't. Relaxing your left hand on top of the leg, left arm bent to the elbow up overhead. then from here, you can make your way back through to the center, uncrossing your legs, and we'll take a long stretch again. So straightening the legs, reaching the arms up overhead. And then last pose, coming to happy baby pose. So reaching for the outsides of your feet or the outsides of your ankles. Pressing the knees down towards the mat. Maybe rocking side to side again. And then you can release your feet and you can kind of just push yourself back up to a seat. And we're going to set up our blankets for Shavasana. You're going to take your blanket or your towel and we're going to roll it up. It can just be like a medium width, and we're just going to kind of roll it to a little bit bigger circle. And it's just an option for Shavasana, so you can kind of place it kind of like a bolster behind your lower back. And you're going to kind of lie down just along your spine on the mat and allow your head can either be on the yoga blanket or it can be on the mat. And what this does is it kind of allows your shoulders to release down, your chest to open up, palms can just be by your side. And maybe just staying here for a few breaths. And you can stay here the whole time for Shavasana, which is only going to be 3 or 4 minutes. Or at some point, if you want, you can just remove the blanket and kind of push it to the side and lie flat on your back. Allow the feet to kind of separate and naturally open up out to the side. And consciously allow your body to just release and relax into the pose. And the pose just being Shavasana. Trying to find some stillness. And just allowing yourself to just be with nothing you have to do, nothing you have to think about. Sinking a little bit deeper into the mat. And then from here, take a nice deep inhale, complete exhale. One more time, nice deep inhale, complete exhale. And then start to bring some movement back, small movement back to your body, like wiggling your fingers and your toes, or rolling out your ankles, rolling out your wrists. And then you can bend your knees, reach your arms up overhead, just stretching it out like you're waking up in the morning. And then roll onto one side, just pausing on your side for 2 or 3 breaths. It's kind of a halfway point. Now taking your time whenever you're ready to make your way all the way up to a seat. And then we'll just finish by bringing our hands to our heart center. We'll take one more deep inhale, reaching out and up. Pressing our palms together to bring our hands back down to our heart center. And just taking a moment to kind of just pause here, reflect on your practice this evening. Feeling a little bit more peaceful, a sense of gratitude for the beautiful evening, being able to be here, and just allowing the positive energy that you feel from class to be a benefit to yourself and the people around you throughout the evening and throughout the day tomorrow. Namaste.